I'm Marylin Chapman. This is my exhibition Thundereggs at the Gage Gallery on Oak Bay Avenue in Victoria. These new paintings emerged from a fascination with rocks, in this case very old rocks. Rocks are hard and resilient. In essence, they are the survivors. Thundereggs and geodes are rocks that were formed many years ago in volcanic activity. They look like an ordinary rock on the outside, but on the inside are deposits of minerals like agate and jasper and crystals. They are found all over the world and treasured by rock hounds the world over. But the name Thundereggs actually came from the Pacific Northwest, where legends said that angry thunderbirds threw thunder eggs from mountaintops during thunderstorms. So what's really special about Thundereggs is that they are 50 million years old. And when you cut them open and polish them many years later, they reveal a hidden beauty, an exquisite ancient earth pattern. Such a magical surprise that connects past to present. So Thundereggs are old rocks, and what you see here is an abstract interpretation of these old rocks. I started this series with the larger canvases, and I began them like I often do a painting, which is an experimental technique of just playing with the paint. I splash and drip paint. I spray water at the canvas and get the paint to flow randomly across the surface. And then that becomes the foundation, and I work to bring out the details I see in the paint. Sometimes, as with these smaller 24 by 24 inch canvases, I start with drawings. So I did a lot of research and study of Thundereggs, and then I did some sketches, and some of them I transferred onto canvas. So however I begin a painting, there always seems to be an element of the experimental and the spontaneous and the accidental. Sometimes though, as you can see, there's also the control, the drawing and the refinement. So I really like that contrast between the spontaneity and the refinement. That kind of drives my work. When I'm in the middle of the creative process, I really believe it's important to go with the flow for me. So for instance, on these larger pieces, I added some gold leaf. And I wanted to control it, but if you've ever worked with it, it's very fiddly. And it got all over the place and ended up kind of controlling me. So I just went with that. I dipped my fingers in water and made circles in the gold leaf. And then I patted it around. What happened was kind of a happy accident where it formed this texture, which I really liked because it reminded me of the outer rough surface of a rock. So I just left it like that. Another example of going with the flow is in these smaller pieces, I tried to add some control and consistency with gold ink throughout the background of these pieces. And again, the process kind of ended up controlling me and became very meditative. I made scrolling, swirling markings, and if you trace them around with your finger, it was kind of relaxing, like walking a labyrinth. I think I'm drawn to that scrolling in nature because nature does it so very beautifully. So when I go for my daily walks along forest paths and beaches, I really notice swirling patterns and rhythms. I notice nature's scrolling landscape and that continuous flow, the interconnectedness of it all. Back in the studio, I think intuitively that strong connection to nature comes through the paint as I subconsciously step inside the landscape. And like many artists, I'm very heavily influenced by nature. My paintings end up being an organic interpretation of nature with that continuous flow. So my work is all about making connections, in this case to nature. Thundereggs was about exploring these old rocks and making connections to nature. to these ancient earth patterns that link past to present. And it's also about connecting with the earth and its history.